What up, y'all, and welcome to the Dubai Street Circuit for the 7th race in the 2023 NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series season. Dylan Ibrahimian on pole for the second time this year with Ron Bishop to his right. Pat Johnson and road course vet in the Digital Storm Cup Series Ryan Brommer are in row 2. Benjamin Ice and Eric Monaco, row 3. Adam Flickinger, Gene Sanford, row 4. With Peter Onjak and Winnie Calhoun rounding out the top 10. Going to go through the rest of the starting order here really darn quickly, as we are going to have a shortened pace lap, and we are going to be going green here. Ibrahimian comes into this race 25th in the points, looking to continue his climb up the standings. Max Anderson and Jack James come in tied for the points lead. Tiebreaker advantage to the 88 of Max Anderson over his teammate. Ibrahimian and Bishop, a pair of Fords, lead him to the green for the first ever race here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series. We are green flag racing and already seeing moves made coming into the tight turn 1, and Peter Onjak is going to be borderline 4 wide with Benjamin Ice, Eric Monaco, and Ryan Brommer. This street circuit does not have a lot of corners, but they are all flat, so going to require a lot of heavy braking here this afternoon because the straightaways are long. So kind of a Watkins Glen type of course here in the United Arab Emirates. Right now it's a Ford top 4. See speeds of up to 173 mile an hour in the draft. That is the high-speed section of the course right there, and you see them down to speeds of almost 105. Draft is going to be very important here. It's going to be hard to make your way forward from the rear of the field, as Eric Monaco all over the rear bumper of Ron Bishop through the final corner. Dylan Ibrahimian and Pat Johnson, Team Penske teammates, lead the field 1-2. Be a better angle of how important this second corner is. That green paint right there is very slippery. See right now, no one really touching that. See Kate Anderson got a piece of it, but didn't do much. But if you get in that paint, the tires just spin, they slide, and you go nowhere. See James Ellison, Sam Young, and Donovan Cage just outside of the top 10. Going over the rest of the top 10 in the points. It's very tight for the championship right now. 6 races in. Cage and Onjak both 10 points back. Strauss 11 back. Then Brommer, Nareza, Ellison, Sky Commons, Dennis Moore, all within 30 points of the top 2 in the standings. Speaking of the top 2 right now, Jack James 25th in the running order with Max Anderson all the way in the back, just trying to get into the top 40 now after where he qualified in the running order. It's going to be a tall order to climb up through the field when everyone in front of him is also getting draft from the truck in front. So a little bit of pit strategy might be necessary here. This is a one-stop race, and we're expecting everyone to come down around the halfway point. Gene Sanford has the 3rd fastest lap on the race and has made her way up inside the top 5. Looking to take 4th place away from Ron Bishop. Also got Benjamin Ice, who's been making his way forward, as is the 2 of Adam Flickinger and the 6 of Donovan Cage. So good handful of drivers finding a way to move forward in the draft, but it is quite difficult. As you see, Eric Monaco going to make a move on Pat Johnson for 2nd place. Man, this is big for Eric Monaco. Great qualifying effort for the driver that comes in 41st in the point standings, an average finish of 32nd on the season, looking for what would be his first career top 10, top 5, maybe even win here this afternoon. As he takes second place away from Pat Johnson. Now just Delon Ibrahimian is between him and the race lead, as we are 4 laps in here on the Dubai Street Circuit. Battle is really heating up for the race lead here. Gene Sanford has come up to the top 2 and joined the mix in the fight for the race lead, but so far Eric Monaco has managed to hold her off for second place. Ibrahimian has so far led every lap from the pole. Meanwhile, Benjamin Ice up to 4th over Pat Johnson, who's now fallen to 5th. Ron Bishop down to 6th. Ryan Brommer just kind of been quietly in the top 10 so far this afternoon. He is currently in 7th. Adam Flickinger, Donovan Cage, Peter Onjak round out the top 10. As we look through the rest of the running order, Sadin Davidson having a pretty good race right now in 12th. Stephen Waters 14th. James Ellison is 15th. Sam Young has crawled up to 17th. Jack James now sits in 22nd place. He is trying to move his way forward as well. As I mentioned, the draft is so big here on the straightaways. You really just got to find a way to get grip in the corner. More grip compared to the driver in front of you. And then try and get some draft on the straightaway to make the pass stick. Jack James going to send it in on Josh King. Looking to take 21st and 20th here in the same lap. Going to be scored 21st at the start-finish line here over Brittany Turner. Now trying to fall in line behind Josh King. Really tight there between the 2 trucks. And Brittany Turner cuts a Ford manufacturer teammate a little slack. You see Lucas Catano back here. Also outside of the top 20. Brad Lewis, man. Barely inside the top 30. And Enzo Nareza not having a good day. Sky Commons. Zachary DeLello, Jessica Strauss, and Max Anderson have gone nowhere from the back of the field. And Dennis Moore, man, who came into this thing. Let's see, where is Dennis Moore? 10th in the point standings. Fresh off a near win a couple of races. Last race, actually, at Talladega. Dennis is not having a good day either. Gene Sanford has made it up to 2nd place and is putting the pressure on Delon Ibrahimian here into turn 1. Gonna lay the bumper on the Penske 22 Ford to the left side of Ibrahimian. She goes. Ibrahimian off in the paint a little bit. And new race leader here in Dubai. It's Gene Sanford in the 8 for S3 Nemco Motorsports. Top 4 have started to pull away. Sanford, Ibrahimian, Monaco, and Ice over Brommer, Johnson, Bishop, Cage, Flickinger, and Onjak. That is the top 10 here, and pit stops are closing in. First one in on pit road is the 18 of Josh King on his lonesome. Now, draft is very important, but by pitting by himself from about 22nd or so, King is going to be he was able to get a very clean entrance into pit road, and he should still gain more time here than what he'll lose with a lap around the circuit without draft. Gene Sanford is still in the lead. Now Benjamin Ice is fighting hard on the right side of Eric Monaco, looking for 3rd place. Be curious to see who might come to pit road here, as we have made it into the second half of the race. You're going to see 3 of the top 4 pit. Benjamin Ice is going to stay out. Ooh, Delon Ibrahimian with a nudge to Gene Sanford coming into pit road. That puts Sanford way offline in the green paint, and Sanford loses 2 positions coming into the pit lane. Ho, 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 what a daring move by Ibrahimian. Gene Sanford, I'm sure, is none too pleased by the maneuver there. And Ibrahimian, I think, likely paying back the bump Gene Sanford gave him on the track several laps to go to take the lead. You see, pretty much everyone is down pit road here. Benjamin Ice, Pat Johnson, Ron Bishop, Dale Johnson, Gatlin Downey, the 5 to stay another lap on the racetrack. Let's see where Josh King comes out in all of this. See, he's ahead of Adam Flickinger. Not sure if Adam just had a bad stop. It looks like that's the case, but Josh King about moves into the top 10 from the undercut. And now one thing he's got to be mindful of, the drivers in front of him, they're on cold tires. You don't want to get too close to someone, run him over. He is right up the bumper of Daniel Brown right now. And his tires are warm. He's got a little more braking grip than the drivers fresh out of pit road. So we'll see here. Can Josh King make it around the racetrack without getting into anybody? It's not that hard to manage. He is all over Daniel Brown here, though. Oh, he's going to hook him into the wall, turning Daniel Brown, and it spins out Josh King as well. And King will lose a ton of positions, and Daniel Brown's truck is destroyed in the process. Bit of a careless move by King, the rookie, to be that close to someone's bumper when they are on the warm-up lap, fresh out of pit road. And it cost the 18 a top 20 position from the undercut. And it puts him right back down where he was before the round of pit stops. So you see Gatlin Downey, Dale Johnson, who stayed out that extra lap, coming out of pit road, along with other drivers. Benjamin Ice just in front of Donovan Cage. As Ibrahimian and Eric Monaco, they are gone in the lead with Gene Sand for third. Benjamin Ice with the freshest tires on the racetrack. Donovan Cage making a peek. Going to try and get back in line. He's going to get turned by Peter Onjak hard into the tire barrier. Huge championship implications for Donovan Cage, who was in the top 5. Came into this race tied third in the point standings with the driver Peter Onjak, who just turned him. And Donovan's race is over. Let's take another look at what happened to Daniel Brown here first. Josh King right on his bumper. See, Daniel is starting to accelerate again. But Josh King was accelerating a little sooner, and he just got into the right rear quarter panel that little bit that turned him around. Now, at this point, I think the 48 was still drivable, but the extra hit helps push Daniel into the tires, and it just kills the truck immediately. And both of those drivers were potentially going to go on and finish inside the top 20, maybe the top 15 for King. Not so sure how the undercut would have turned out, but instead King spins around as a result of the contact and loses everything he had gained from the strategy. Going to ride on board with Peter Onjak here regarding the Donovan Cage incident. See, you can see he's getting a run in the draft. Cage pulls out to make a move. Gets back in line, and Peter just... I don't know if y'all heard the impact, but that was brutal. It looked like Peter just kind of outbraked himself there and ran into the 6, and Peter loses distance here on the 93 big time. But unlike Donovan Cage, he is still in the race. Riding on board with Donovan Cage. Oh, man, what an impact. I'm curious if Peter Onjak considered that kind of a block, since he had the run on Cage, and Cage tried to get back in line, and there was just barely enough room for him to get in there, but it was well established before the breaking point, so I don't know. This could be the start of a rivalry between a Monster Energy driver and a Red Bull driver. Eric Monaco looking to the inside of Delon Ibrahimian here for the race lead. They are 3.5 seconds ahead of Gene Sanford. And it's a battle between the 4 drivers of Stuart Haas Racing and Team Penske. Ibrahimian, I think, kind of just let him go. And Monaco will take the race lead. So Monaco will become, I think, the 4th different leader here on the day, officially at the start-finish line. And with 8 laps to go, it is still Monaco versus Ibrahimian. Ibrahimian with a move out of the final corner, coming to 6 laps to go. Going to look to take the race lead back now from Eric Monaco after letting Monaco lead for the past handful of laps. Ibrahimian with a really good turns 1 and 2 gets the drive off the corner, and the 22 of Ibrahimian is back into the race lead over the 14 of Eric Monaco. Meanwhile, behind them, Gene Sanford has fallen to the clutches of Benjamin Ice. Both drivers have been out here without draft, but Ice, with the 1-lap advantage on tires, has closed to Gene Sanford, just a little bit faster than Peter Onjak, James Ellison, Sadin Davidson, and Reggie Fogelman have drafted up to the pair. It's going to be quite the battle here, I think, for 3rd, 4th, and 5th as we get to the end of this race. Meanwhile, Pat Johnson in 9th, falling back to Winnie Calhoun, Skylar Taylor, and more. How about Jack James up to 13th place? Looking to break the tie for the points lead and maybe take the points lead, depending where Peter Onjak finishes here. If Onjak gets a good enough finish in the top 5, I think he'll take it. Lucas Catano has climbed up to 16th. Ron Bishop has fallen to 17th. Sam Young's really gone nowhere. He is still just inside the top 20. Gatlin Downey doing a bit better here in 21st. See, meanwhile, Max Anderson going to take 25th away from Josh King. So Anderson doing a lot better, but still a good bit behind his teammate, Jack James. Meanwhile, Jessica Strauss, Enzo Nareza have done nothing to move forward from the pit strategy. In fact, Ryan Brommer, man, he has plummeted down the running order to 36th. Not sure if there might have been a spin there somewhere, but Donovan Cage and Daniel Brown are both out of the race, and we have 5 laps to go here in Dubai. 2 laps to go here. Dylan Ibrahimian still leads barely over Eric Monaco. The race is on for 3rd place between Benjamin Ice and Gene Sanford. Now that is allowing Peter Onjak and James Ellison to close up. Now Onjak, 10 points behind Jack James in the championship hunt coming into this race. James Ellison came in 23 points back. They both want some really big point stays here, and Ellison knows if he can get one more spot to get a top 5 finish, he'll gain a ton more points than what he'll finish, or get rather, in 6th. They are just getting into the draft now of the 8 and the 93. Behind them, Reggie Fogelman, Sadin Davidson have fallen back to Pat Johnson, which is kind of crazy. Benjamin Ice is all over Gene Sanford. He is right up the bumper of the 8. They're coming to the white flag this time by. Our focus will shift on the battle for the win. Can Eric Monaco do anything to get a run back on Dylan Ibrahimian and get his first career win? He's in line to get his first career top 5 and top 10 finish of his career and on the season. Sitting 41st in the points coming into this race, it's definitely going to shoot Monaco up the point standings. In fact, with where he's running, he could see himself climb all the way up into the top 30. But it really depends where everyone else in front of him in the points finishes. But it's looking like Dylan Ibrahimian is pulling away. Ibrahimium, 2 career wins to his name, looking to get win number 1 on 2023 and the 3rd of his Jerky Pro Truck Series career. And looking to get what I believe will be the first win on a road course for Ibrahimium. Through the final corner, Monaco is not going to be able to get there. And coming to the checkered flag, Dylan Ibrahimium wins it in Dubai. Gene Sanford with a last-ditch effort to get 3rd, can't do it. Benjamin Ice gets a position over Gene Sanford. Onjak will get 5th. James Ellison 6th, Reggie Fogelman 7th, Pat Johnson 8th, Saden Davidson 9th, and Skylar Taylor rounds out the top 10. Ron Bishop 14th, Jack James 15th, Adam Flickinger 17th, Lucas Catano 19th, Sam Young 21st, Max Anderson 26th, Josh King 29th. With Ryan Brommer 36th, Donovan Cage 41st, Daniel Brown 42nd. The notables on the day. Here come your full race results and point standings after the 7th race of the season. 7 races down, 8 races to go, and next up is the Wild Road Course in New Zealand, Pukekohe. And we will see y'all for some madness next time.